Redneck Wes, I am fresh out of caffeinated soda and nacho cheese flavored tortilla chips. What am I going to do?
Have you thought about using Instacart?
Instacart, you're right. They say that they'll save you a trip to the market. They'll deliver groceries to you in as fast as an hour. They connect you with personal shoppers in your area to shop at all your local favorite stores and deliver groceries right to your front door.
If you follow the link in our show notes, this will let Instacart know that we sent you, which will help support our show. And by using our link, you will get free delivery on your first order over $35.
That sounds like a great idea. I think I'm going to do that. You know, they'll pick the freshest produce and keep your eggs safe too. That's Instacart.
Hey guys, this is Redneck Wes from the Nerdy Old Men podcast, and as with me always is my good old buddy Chad, and we've got a special guest with us today. My friend, you've probably seen him at conventions and stuff, but it's Cosplay Cody.
Hello,
Cody
hello.
has joined us today. So, Cody, why don't you give us a little introduction there, give us a little background.
Tell us who Cody is.
Well, I am Cody Epling. Online, I am Cosplay Cody. I run an Etsy page. I help out with Fanboy Expo, a local convention here, with their
Our
cosplay
favorite
section.
con.
Yes,
by
sir.
And I just enjoy and love cosplay.
Well, Cody, what we always like to ask people that come on the show, what got you into this nerdy/geek pop culture genre back in the day?
Well, actually, not too long ago. I'll take you back to 2000 and I want to say 2012, which doesn't feel like too long ago. I had no clue that a thing called cosplay existed. I had just went to my first convention. That was Lexington Comic-Con
Okay. All right.
up in Lexington, Kentucky, and I seen these people walking around in costumes, and I was like, and being a lover of Halloween and dressing up every year, I was thinking to myself, man, what a cool job that this place is giving these people.
Right.
I assumed that these people were paid
Employed.
to dress up. Yeah. And I just would take pictures with everybody in costume, and I was just like, man, that's so cool. Come to find out, these people just do this for fun. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I have to get into that. But
Hey, they're just like me. They're just here.
they like stuff like me. Living in a small town of Kentucky, nobody made costumes or was into the nerdy stuff I was into.
I can relate to that.
Yep. Cool before it was cool, buddy. I like it.
Yeah. And my son, it was his third or fourth birthday. He wanted a Spider-Man for his birthday, and I could not find anybody that done that. So I bought my own little cheap Spider-Man costume and showed up at his birthday party, and it just blew up from there because people seen pictures online, and they were like, hey, come do a birthday party for me. So I started doing that, and then somebody from Knoxville had invited me down to just a little photo shoot. And when I came down here and met the cosplay community down here, it was on from there.
There is quite a big community in the Knoxville area, cosplayers.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, in these days, it's not nearly everything like this is not nearly as frowned upon as this sort of thing once was.
we didn't have stuff like. I mean, we had the
No.
plastic Halloween costumes with the mask that would cut your face off.
That's because we're ancient, Wes. That's
but we, I didn't know you could go and buy a Spider-Man costume other than Halloween and it be, the cheap kind.
Right.
And Cody's had some pretty amazing suits, pun intended. for Spider-Man. I mean, I know.
Yeah,
you've
Cody,
done-
tell us. You know, obviously you did Spider-Man in the beginning. Tell us some of the other good kits that you put together.
Okay. My first little build was it was a Cable from X-Men. It was
Right.
just a simple chest armor, and now here recently, I guess my most recent build for myself was an 8 foot tall Bumblebee from
Wow.
Transformers.
that was a cool one.
That's so cool.
That was one where Cody's like, "I'm gonna do Bumblebee," and we're all like, "Yeah, we're not dressing up because we're gonna handle you because when you get in
And
those big costumes, it's difficult."
And it took all of them.
We didn't let him fall though. We were very proud of
That's
that.
true.
It stilts and everything.
Yes,
That's
and that
awesome.
that was the hardest part of it, is just learning how to walk in those. that was something.
But it was a really cool costume because like the headlights lit up and the helmet lit up and people really got a kick out of that.
And that's the best part about it, is getting it out and getting the interaction with, people who enjoy this stuff.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and that's something that I've liked in the limited, and I've seen you as at Fanboy and things like that, and love your stuff, and obviously Wes, and I've done a little bit of it myself, and that's pretty fun, especially the kids, right? Seeing the kids get super fired up about that. I've got a pretty decent Deadpool, and it really surprises the heck out of me the number of children that are like big fans of Deadpool, which is slightly scary, but it works out, and then my daughter does a Supergirl, and all the little teenage boys run around behind her and take like a dozen pictures with her and stuff. And obviously she hates that, not really, but but it's fun. And I've always been a hands-on kind of guy. I like to build things.
Yeah.
So really, the costumes is part of it, but I like building props. And, and I imagine you probably do that kind of stuff too. I mean, I've got a little sister syringe hanging up here on the wall that I did.
Cool.
For my wife for Dragon Con one year, and it lights up, and it's pretty cool. So I'm working on a steampunk jetpack that actually will blow smoke and things like that. So that's kind of the stuff I like to do. But obviously, Bumblebee was a huge costume for you. But what's your favorite that you've done?
Well, for all the work that went into it, Bumblebee's probably my favorite. But I built another Cable armor here recently for a guy down in Georgia from my Etsy page,
Right.
and that's probably my favorite build because I went a different route with it, and I hand painted the whole thing instead of like taping and spray painting.
And it looks amazing.
You got a steady hand,
the
man.
pictures. I've seen the pictures. But Cable has always been one of your favorite characters, though.
Cable is my favorite character, yes.
Sorry, Spider-Man.
Cable is the man.
You were saying that you built this for somebody on your Etsy page. So tell us about that page and the work that you do there.
Okay. At the end of 2019, I started talking about, maybe I'll open up my own shop and try to sell a few things that I make just for some extra cash. And a few years ago, I would have told you it was crazy about me selling anything I made. But I was like, well, I'll try it out. So I opened up this Etsy store, and I make things like the Evil Dead chainsaw, Winter Soldier arms, just a bunch of things, Mortal Kombat masks. And it's took off, and it's done really good. I'm really proud of that. It's 865 Cosplay Studio on Etsy.
Okay.
And recently,
Later on, send me the link to that, and we'll put that in the show notes as well. So
I sure will. And from there, I opened up a website selling EVA foam and hot glue guns and other crafting supplies for cosplay.
okay, all right.
And that's C3 Studios 88 or .squarespace.com.
Okay. All right. We'll put that in there also. So
And I've already picked up some of that foam, and I'm itching to work with it.
EVA's the stuff, right, man?
Oh, yeah.
EVA is the stuff.
And it's the good stuff that you would get from some of the other national online suppliers. But
Right,
the
and I've
sheets are
bought
big and
some.
they're easier to work with. I
Right.
like that.
Oh yeah, yeah. And I've bought some, from online, but since this guy's down the road, that's where I'll pick. That's where I'll pick up some from now on because we like to support local businesses. But yeah, we'll definitely put that in the notes. So how long is that? How long has that been up and running?
That's only been up and running for, gosh, I want to say maybe a month.
That's outstanding. We're right on the front line, Wes.
Yes, we
got
are.
it out
Tip of
first.
the spear, baby. Tip of the spear. Or tip of the X-Acto knife. I guess if you want to keep it in the cosplay.
I bought scalpels. I like to use scalpels because you replace the blades pretty easily, and they're super sharp. Of course, I've cut myself on every project, but I think that's standard
done something
though.
like that. Yeah, you're not cosplaying.
So, Cody, what's your favorite medium to work in there? Is EVA, I would guess, or what other materials? I've used EVA and I've used Warbler as well, but Warbler is such a pain in the rear and it's brittle. So
And it's expensive.
yes.
Yes. I've used it all. I've worked with Warbler a little bit with an Iceman cosplay. I've used the clear Warbler.
That was really cool, by the way.
Oh, I remember that one. I think I've seen that costume. Yeah.
He had the skateboard looking like the
Yes.
like his ice sled there.
Yes.
So
Yeah, I worked with that, and I wasn't a big fan. I really wasn't a fan of the price.
No.
But I just, like you said, it's brittle, and I've worked with 3D printing, and I enjoy that too. But I feel like working with Eva foam gives me a more of a freedom, and I like making stuff. It's kind of a stress reliever.
oh yeah.
So I think the Eva foam is really my go-to with anything.
Absolutely. And here's a good question for you because I built and I need to go back and in essence re-engineer it. But I built a Mass Effect armor set with lights and everything for a Dragon Con I went to. Okay, and I put it together with hot glue.
How'd that work out?
Well, in Atlanta in September, not so good. Wore it out at night, and it was like I was being shot at because pieces of my armor just kept blowing off my body.
Oh no!
So since then, I have discovered that I like the smell of contact cement in the morning. So, but but is that what you use, Cody, or do you use a mix of stuff?
I mostly contact cement. Yes. It's according to what I'm working with. Really, if it's Eva foam, it's definitely contact cement. But to give it some extra, if I need one piece to hold extra strong, I will do the contact cement, and then I will back it with hot glue on the back side of it.
Yeah. I did an Among Us that game on the phones, Among Us helmet for my son for Halloween this year, and that's what I did. I used contact cement, but then on the inside of the helmet, I used hot glue, and it stuck really well, especially out at Booth Zoo here in Knoxville, and it was still a little humid there, and it kind of stuck together. So that's a good idea. So that's a good point for everybody.
Plasti dip, boys. Plasti dip.
Cover
hot glue in plasti dip. It ain't going nowhere. 'Cause that's what I do with Groot. And
right.
He's been together for
Yeah, that's another thing.
Gosh,
Wes
4
and
years.
his freaking Groot is ridiculous. So, but as we're talking here, Cody, is there you have some sort of photo repository, Instagram or something like that shows all your builds, or do you have all that on your Etsy page and your other website as well? Because people may want to take a look at that to see the kind of work that you do, and then maybe hire you for work or pick up your products.
Yeah, if you want to check out my cosplay stuff that I've made myself, and I post some of my stuff from Etsy on Instagram too. It's cosplay_Cody on Instagram.
Outstanding. We'll put that in there as well. What other kind of things other than cosplay that you like, Cody, and this kind of stuff?
Anything outdoors. I like fishing and really anything. Here recently, I've got into VR gaming. I'm really enjoying that. It's an experience.
What kind of setup you got for that?
I've got the Oculus Rift. I looked all the headsets up at HTC, Oculus, and I think the PlayStation might have one. But Oculus seemed like it had the good reviews, so I went with that one.
Is it the standalone system or the one that goes to your PC?
Oh, it's the The PC, yeah.
Okay, all right, yeah. My son bought one of those, but his processor is a little slow, so it was kind of jerky. So we
Right.
returned that, and now he's got to install a new processor. But that's what my kid does at 11. He works on his computer, so
That's why he's our tech support.
but it is, yeah.
He works cheap.
He does work cheap. Chick-fil-A, and I'm good to go. But so, other than having your business doing your cosplay stuff and then doing it for fun, you guys, and Wes is included with you, you guys do a lot of volunteer work, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
we do
oh yeah.
a lot of stuff. Sometimes a little too much. We have had days where I know one time I think we did like 3 events in one day.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
it can be taxing, but like Cody said earlier, when you see the kids, and they're wanting to take pictures with you, and they light up. I mean, and there's nothing you can do, nothing you can say to convince them that you're not real, which
Oh,
is
yeah.
always cool, because I know,
Yeah,
like,
that's one of the best feelings in the world, right there.
well, I know that there's been times Cody and I have done events together, and I'll do Captain America and he'll do Spider-Man, and we've got a bit that we'll do where Cody will run off with my shield, like like from Civil War,
Right.
And so I'll chase him around, and the kids will get involved, and I've actually had kids helping me chase Spider-Man down. I've actually had kids trying to stop me from catching Spider-Man. So
That's
when
good
you can
stuff.
get them involved in it, they have a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
So you guys got some volunteer things coming up for your. Well, one thing is when you guys do volunteer, you do that as a group, right? So what is the information on your group?
Well, I guess we'll plug the 865 Superstars.
Oh yeah, of course.
That's the one that Cody and I, along with our friend Derek, you can find him Die Hard Derek on Instagram. We kind of started that off as a joke because we got to plug Fanboy here because Fanboy is an awesome con.
Oh, yeah.
And Ric Flair was going to be at Fanboy one year, and I said, how cool would it be to meet Ric Flair dressed as Ric Flair? So we did the full on robe and I met Ric Flair, and Derek, he said, well, I'm going to do Macho Man. So Cody goes, I'm going to do Sting. And we're like, oh, cool. We'll have, some wrestlers there. And we were waiting on Cody because I got to tell this one on Cody because Cody's always late.
Yeah. True story.
Fashionably late.
And we were standing out in the hallway out in front of the exposition center downstairs, and Derek and I just started cutting promos on each other, and we were making fun of Cody for being late, and we were calling the Stinger out and this, that, and people like started to come over and like filming us and taking pictures, and we're like, just go with it, because we didn't know what else to do. We were waiting on Cody, and Cody shows up, and he just jumped right in and just started cutting promos with us, and you see all these people are just kind of standing around watching us, and that was kind of how that started. And then I know Cody's wife does a lot of stuff, had done a lot of stuff with Fanboy before they had met, and and David, I guess, got a kick out of us.
Yeah, the guy that runs Fanboy caught wind of these videos, these promos, and he absolutely loved it.
That's good stuff.
And then I guess y'all just kind of invited us to do Children's Hospital. And
Yeah, Fanboy was there. They were wanting to up their support for the cosplay community because the cosplay at Fanboy is amazing for like a local convention.
I can
so
attest to that. That's really awesome, and the cosplay contest is a nice set of a variety of different stuff, and it's really fun to
Yeah.
watch.
I agree. And Fanboy gave us this platform to where we're working with the local children's hospital, and just all sorts of events around. And so we all just kind of work together, and our cosplay community is the best at helping and being available. and Wes himself. If I need somebody to count on, it's definitely Wes.
Wes is
Well, thank you,
dependable. But so you guys do you've said Children's Hospital quite a bit of times recently. That's East Tennessee Children's Hospital, and it's an outstanding hospital, and it's a wonderful place for people to donate their time and their money. And luckily, well, the company I used to work for, I was an advocate for our outreach program, and we were able to donate a lot of money to those guys, and they're a great place. But you guys do a lot of positive work for those, and you said in the pre-show that you guys have something coming up here pretty soon in conjunction with them.
We've got a couple events.
Yeah,
Sorry.
we got a. Oh no, it's okay. No, we have Operation Fanboy coming up. Operation Fanboy Christmas, where we dress up in our different cosplays, and I can't remember the number of families. I know it's around 30 families that we just deliver Christmas presents to.
So, I mean, how cool is it to be getting a Christmas present from Spider-Man?
Oh, that's great.
Just think about that. If you're a little kid,
I would like that much better than Captain America, though. But no, in all seriousness, do you guys do that there at the hospital, or are you doing that in different places?
Oh, no, this is just all over Knox County, and there's even some outside of Knox County, but we won't be delivering to those. But they're still a part of the Operation Fanboy Christmas.
Oh, that's outstanding. I mean, that's taking your hobby and something that you love and is fun and turning it into some good and putting that back into the community, and that is an outstanding thing. And I applaud you guys for that, because I think that's great.
I know one of the things that I really enjoy, because Cody had got me in on it, was we would actually go to the hospital in character. Everybody be in costume, and we would go and actually visit kids in the rooms. And we've done that 4 or 5 times at least. And this year with COVID, we've not been able to do it. But I know next weekend we're actually going to have a parade around the hospital with kids in the hospital.
Yeah,
so we can't go in; they can't come out. But
right, they have for a few of them, they have a really cool spot from. It's like a walkway that connects building to building with all these windows.
Oh, they're going to be in the walkway? Oh, that's...
There's going to be a bunch of them posted up in the walkway. So I think that's going to be really cool.
That's great. How many different cosplayers do you think you're going to have doing that?
We're aiming to get 40.
Wow.
I've recruited around a little over 20 right now.
That is awesome. That's awesome.
But I know, like the fire department, the police department, there's going to be several local, Knox County emergency response units. They're all going to be in the parade with us.
So that's going to be amazing. And that this time of the year when kids are stuck in the hospital for different things, that's got to be rough. And I think that would be a tremendous bright spot in their holiday season. So that's really awesome, and I think that's great that you guys are doing that. Now, is that just your group organizing that, or is that in conjunction with Fanboy?
Definitely in conjunction with Fanboy.
I think Dave's actually spearheading that one.
Yes, he is. With COVID and not being able to do these cons and stuff, he wanted to do something, and with the community. And this parade was an idea of his, actually, and we had a little meeting, and he asked us about it, and I was like, I really think that we could pull this off. So he pulled all of his strings that he knows, with the fire department and the police department and stuff, and then he talked to Children's Hospital, and he got it set up, and he said, I've got it set up if you can get the cosplayers.
And that's one thing about Dave. He is really big on giving back to the community. He really wants Fanboy to be connected with the Knoxville community, and really the whole East Tennessee community.
Yeah.
But he is really all about giving back to, and this is something. It really makes you feel good when you see those kids light up, and like I said, this year's been a little different. So he came up with this, and props to Dave for thinking outside the box and something that we can still do for the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's great. And Let's switch gears for just a minute. If since you guys have been doing a lot of cosplay over the years, I've done a little bit. If somebody is out there that's thinking about getting into this hobby, what kind of tips would you give them, Cody? Somebody's just starting out. Now, somebody's always been a fan of nerdy geek pop culture comic, the kind of stuff that we all
This
are.
show, maybe?
This show. And if you're a fan of this show, you are obviously the most awesome people in the entire world. No one's better than you. That's a fact. But so the fans of the show are interested in getting into cosplay. What would you suggest they do, Cody? Other than obviously go to your Etsy page and your website and pick up some stuff. But as far as getting started from scratch, what would you suggest?
I would suggest just getting, watching some YouTube videos on how to make costumes, and just really my biggest tip would be just start, because it don't matter if it looks amazing or if it, everybody starts somewhere.
Yeah, that's very true. Because my first costume was a Punisher T-shirt and a black jacket. I mean,
Yeah,
that was it.
I think once you start and get the interaction with all these people that have the same interests as you and same loves as you, then that's the best part about it. And then making your costumes detailed and look good, that comes later.
Trial and error, right?
Trial and error,
And
a lot of that.
the rule of cool, right? If you think it's cool, then do it.
Yeah,
Of
I mean,
course, yes.
Yeah, because
I've
that makes
seen
you
a lot
feel
of
good,
stuff
yeah.
that I don't know what it is, and I'm like, well, that's cool. I'm not sure what it is, but it's cool. And then you get to talk to people, and honestly, that's how I met Cody. Was at a convention, and he had done cable, and I was like, hey man, that's a cool cable. And then he had met some people that I was friends with, and we just kind of sucked him into our group and got him out of Kentucky and got him down here to East Tennessee.
Right, and you're just getting started with just the basics. Like I said, the first real thing that I built was that this Mass Effect. Now, I bought and Wes remembers my old Batman, which was pretty decent, but I bought a costume and then I modified it. I got my brother who'd done a fair amount of cosplay as well to come and help me modify it, and it worked out good. But again, that freaking thing was just too hot, and the rubber was just too much for me. But so then I built that Mass Effect, and I didn't buy, or at least maybe at the time I didn't even know where to buy like cosplay grade rolls of EVA. So I went and
Using floor
to the
mats.
Harbor Freight and bought floor mats. But hey, you flip it to the texture side and you paint it right, it kind of looks like carbon fiber. So it worked out pretty well
it
for me.
does.
But starting out with just something cheap and basic like that is probably a pretty good way to go, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
of course.
absolutely. But
So-
if you enjoy it, I mean, and you'll find different ways to do things, and a lot of it's trial and error.
Yeah, it
'cause
is.
I know, Cody, you've probably done like me, and oh yeah, I'm going to do this and this, and you start putting it together, and you're like, that's not going to work. And so
Oh yeah.
you learn to improvise a lot, and it's fun, but you've got to realize too at the same time that the videos that you watch on YouTube or the people that you follow on Instagram, some of these people are professional cosplayers. They have people paying them to build stuff. So
Yep.
they have 8, 10, 12 hours a day to work on a costume 7 days a week.
Well, they've been doing it for a long, long time too.
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of people don't realize that they're like, well, I want it to look like something from the movie, and you don't realize that, watch the credits. I'd actually posted this on my Instagram page, but it was a thing, and it said, you're doing the job basically of everybody that's in the movie credits. When you see all these people that work on costumes and props, and you're doing it, in your bedroom or in the kitchen or the living room, and
Yeah, you-
usually by yourself on a shoestring budget.
Oh yeah, you can't compare yourself to the movies because you're going up against a whole team that's all they do. That's what they get paid to do.
Right, and another thing about it is that some of that is computer generated too.
Oh yeah,
Right?
of
So,
course.
You're trying
I'm
to
talking about like
replicate
the-
this stuff with foam, right?
Like a lot of the practical stuff. 'Cause,
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
I'm my
absolutely,
own
yes.
worst critic because I'll see something and I'm like, I built some Wonder Woman armor for a friend of mine, and I'm looking at it going, oh, this is awful. just because I
Did you put
Co-
it
Cody
on?
will-
Did you put it on and look in the mirror and say that it was
It
awful?
didn't fit. I was too fat.
Because I would agree. It probably looked pretty awful on you.
I don't know. I think I'd make a pretty good Wonder Woman. But when I showed it to Alicia, she hit the floor, and like I had my friend Shannon, who actually does an amazing Wonder Woman. I'd sent her pictures because I'd actually asked to see like parts of her armor, just like, am I doing this right? Because sometimes you're freehanding stuff, or you're trying to do it from a picture, and you're not sure if you're getting it right. And I sent her a picture, and I said, "Well, how does it look compared to yours?" And she's like, "That's amazing." And she's like, "That's foam," and so that makes you feel good. But I know I've seen some of the paint jobs that Cody's done on stuff, and I'm like, "How did you pull that off, man?" And it's like, a lot of detail, with very limited, area to work in, and foam is fun to work with, but it can be aggravating sometimes when it doesn't cut the way you want it to.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Right. So Cody, he's bragging on your paint jobs. You hand brushing, or use an airbrush, or rattle cans? What do you like to do?
I've used all the above. The preferred way is spray painting, but like I said, my most recent one, I hand painted the whole thing. And I think I might start leaning towards that just because it gives me more creativity, I guess. I think that's what I'm going to start doing with acrylic paints, and I'm going to do some research on different paints I can use just so I can kind of broaden what I do.
Yeah, test it out. I
Yeah.
Yeah, and you were talking about building, like Wes, you were talking about building something for your friend. I think that's another, as you get into this sort of thing, that's another gratifying thing, is to be able to do stuff for that. Like when I worked with the Warbler, I bought some, and me and my daughter, she designed and drew out on a pad it was a My Little Pony villain, but it was, a humanized version.
One.
Yeah, humanized version of it, and we built it out of Warbler, and we designed it all ourselves, and she and I worked on it together, and that was a fun experience, just out there in the garage with a heat gun and burning the crap out of her fingers trying to build this thing, and she wore it to Fanboy, and one of those photographers took some pictures, and it looked really good, and she wore it in the costume contest. But you talking about the brittle, the pauldrons on her shoulders, we had built moons, like crescent moons on them, and they kind of look like blades. Well, she went over and kind of leaned against the wall and broke one of them.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
But it was right at the end of the show, so we were leaving anyway. But you're talking about that, but that was brittle. But building those things with other people and helping other people is a pretty cool thing outside of the business that you have. So I think that's kind of another gratifying avenue that this can go down.
Well, I mean, I've learned a lot from Cody, and I think Cody has helped me out a lot, because I've asked him about, well, hey, how'd you do this, or what do you think about this? And that there's a real strong sense of community, because most cosplayers, you can ask, well, how'd you do that, and they'll tell you.
Yeah, and that's one good thing about having a group of friends that do the same thing. Like Wes has helped me out also with some ideas, and everybody has really. When you talk about cosplay, everybody has their own style and way of doing things, and we just bounce ideas off each other and help each other out.
So as you're looking forward to future projects, we'll kind of go around the horn here. I am in the process. First thing I've done without a pattern is I built a Cobra Commander helmet with a chrome shield. Chrome shield. I got all the soft goods as well. So I've kind of been doing that kind of project. So that's one of the things. And then and Wes and I have talked about doing this. And of course, I like lighting. I like to do little minor solder work and lighting and things like that. Yeah. And then when it messes up, I call my dad, who actually does know how to do electrical stuff, and he laughs at me. I did. I swear. I sent him one. I think it was on this
Was it the jetpack?
No, it wasn't the jetpack. It was the little sister syringe, and I was like, Dad, it's lighting up, but the batteries are getting really hot. And he just started hee-hawing, laughing at me. I'm like, what? Why? He goes, oh, you gotta switch this around, this around. I'm like, instead of laughing at me, maybe you could FaceTime me and show me how to do this the right way. But
Yeah, it's like hell bad.
but I want to do a Lex Luthor power armor. And
It's been on my list for a while.
light up. Well, but I look like Lex Luthor, right?
halfway there.
I'm the bald-headed bastard. I mean, but anyway, those are projects that I'm looking at. Cody, what do you got on the horizon there? If you can relay that top secret information.
Yeah, definitely. My next one I'm wanting to do for myself is a Shredder from the Ninja Turtles.
Oh, that's cool.
I've seen the sketches on that. It looks
so
awesome.
cool. That would be awesome.
I want to do more of the comic book style.
Okay, yeah.
Ninja Turtles is one of my biggest things that I enjoy, and I collect all Ninja Turtle things. So, but I've never done a Ninja Turtle cosplay, and the Ninja Turtle suits are, golly, it's way too expensive. So I was like, well, maybe I can do something else, and I was researching some Shredder designs from the old comic books. And I was like, man, yep, that's it.
Is that not a cool design for a ninja character though, with just the blades
Oh,
everywhere?
yes.
See, that's a man of my own heart. I love villains, obviously. Just about everything I've done is a villain, so I dig that, man. I can't wait to see that.
Another one I got planned, and Chad, I think you should join in on this because I really want me and Wes and some people to get together and do a D&D group cosplay.
Yeah, we've talked about this.
That would be awesome. I don't know what I could come up with, but that would be really cool because you don't see that, which is odd. It's odd that you don't see that, but you don't see that.
What kind of got that started? Because, obviously loving Dungeons and Dragons, and I was talking about it, and Cody goes, "You've got to teach me how to play." And I'm like, I can run another group, sure.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Hey, with Roll20 right now, it's a whole lot easier.
It is. But we talked about it. I said, well, I've always wanted to build my paladin. Adamus Rifle. I've always wanted to build that. And Cody goes, I want to be an elf ranger. I'm like, all right, do it. And the next thing I know, like, we're standing around at Fanboy talking to everybody, and everybody's like, oh yeah, I want to be this, and I want to be this, and I want to be this. I don't know what I want to do, but I want to do something. And we're like, we've got like 15 people wanting to be in a group. It's like,
heck of an adventuring party.
And Cody can attest to this. We had some friends that went to Louisville for a convention, and they did the X-Men. And there was, I think, y'all had like 12, 15 people in that group, Cody?
Yeah,
there was
close
a
to
bunch
15 for sure, yeah.
Wow.
And like everybody at the convention, they just stopped, and there's the X-Men.
That's awesome.
All these different characters. And so I'm like,
hey, that'd be a great idea. I'm on board, man. We'll have to come up with some ideas because that would be super fun.
Because a Dungeons and Dragons group where basically you've got every character class.
Oh, that's
and
so
you've got,
cool.
you got people wanting to be elves and half elves, and
Yeah, I was going to dress up my son as like a little dwarf.
Oh, that would be great. I actually saw some. It was actually Lord of the Rings style dwarven helmets on a YouTube video, a cosplay YouTube video recently, and those were amazing. And I'm like, if I wasn't almost 6 foot tall, that would be so freaking cool.
you can hunch.
Yeah, I can on my knees and crawl around. Wes, what do you got? What do you got coming up?
Well, obviously, I'm wanting to build the Paladin, and one that I've wanted to do for a long time. I've wanted to do the Juggernaut. And I saw a guy, he had built one. This was, I guess the first one I saw in person was back in 2010. We went to Dragon Con, and just walking around, this guy had built this Juggernaut. He was really cool. It was comic, but it wasn't to the scale. It was just, he was probably 6 foot, maybe a little bigger, and then he's got the armor on. I'm like, well, it looks really cool, and was asking him about it. But I had saw a guy that had built on Etsy, or not Etsy, on Instagram, and he had built this huge, we're talking like a 7 foot, 8 foot tall Juggernaut, and he had used upholstery foam, and had carved the muscles, and then had
That's
wrapped it in like a
cool,
latex
man.
skin. And so, it's one of those, and Cody can attest, sometimes you do big costumes, you got to have help.
Oh yes.
But it's huge, and it's proportionate to what the Juggernaut in the comics would look like. Just this massive hulking. And I'm like, that would be so cool to build, because you're walking along as the Juggernaut, and then I don't know, we've kind of got into building a lot of really big and tall costumes, and
Yeah,
figuring
we got a
stuff like that out.
competition going here. Who has the tallest costume?
If you did the Juggernaut, I could put on my Deadpool and run away from you.
There you go.
That would be funny.
But like, I built Groot, and I said I want to get to 8 foot in Groot, because when you're, and Cody knows, when you're so much bigger than everybody else at the convention, all eyes go to you.
Right.
And then I guess you did Bumblebee next.
Yeah.
And he's in that 8 foot range. Our friend Tyler has a Jack Skellington that's 7+.
Yeah, definitely over 7 foot.
That's
and then
amazing.
our friend John, he's like, hey man, I want to build a pyramid head. I don't know how to do it. And I'm like, oh, we can figure something out. And he said, well, watch this guy. And I think he was from Russia or the Ukraine or something, because we were just kind of trying to do all the conversions because everything was metric. And he goes, he made it out of cardboard and drywalling mud. I'm like, I ain't never tried that before, but okay. We figured out how to build a pyramid head out of cardboard and drywall mud. It's crazy.
That's cool. And when you go to you're talking about earlier, going to the shows and meeting people, and it was funny. I was at Fanboy one time, and I was in the Deadpool, and I was the whole mask. Nobody can see who I am, and I see these dudes come in, and they're wearing they've got this full kit of the Space Marine stuff from Aliens. Right, and they've got guns that have counters on them for the rounds and stuff. You know what I'm talking about, the green space marines for the right. And I'm like, and I walk over there to them, and they turn around, and I'm like, Brent, and it was this guy I worked with, and his name's Brent Lemire. I'm gonna give a shout out to him, and it was a couple other dudes from the place I worked at the time, and I mean we were gun toting thugs at this job, so it was obviously that he had this stuff. And I'm like, Brent, and I took my mask off. He's like, holy crap, I didn't know you were into this stuff. I was like, hell, I didn't know you were either. But it was cool to run into those guys that you had no idea that they were into it. I was like, dude, I said, that freaking stuff is awesome, man. And he was like, yeah, I just love that movie. I've been working on this stuff for a few years, so I had to get out here with it. I'm like, that's really freaking cool. So
Yeah, I think our wrestlers beat them in the costume contest that year.
oh, maybe so. Maybe so. But I promise you, do not play paintball or anything else with these dudes, because I assure you from personal experience, they're going to light you up. But no, that's cool, because you run into all that kind of stuff, and I think that's really neat, man. Cody's got some really cool stuff, and we're going to link all of his stuff into the show description. So please check his stuff out. Follow him and spread the word on that, because he's a good local guy with a lot of cool stuff. And he's a pretty darn good expert on cosplay and other things. But Wes, do you think he's ready for the Nerdy Old Man rapid fire question session?
Let's find out.
All right, Cody, you are today's victim, maybe you're honored. One or the other. We'll figure it out when it's over. But Wes, you may begin, sir.
Okay, Cody, I'll throw you a softball starting off here. Marvel or DC?
Oh, it's easy, Marvel.
Okay, Cody. What is your favorite Pac-Man ghost?
Oh man.
Bonus points if you know their name.
Oh,
Pressure's on, Cody.
I don't know their names.
Okay,
I'm gonna go on a wing and say the blue one.
There you go, the blue one. All right, that sounds good. How did I know Wes would know the thing? Okay, Wes, go ahead.
Okay, Cody. What is your favorite super villain? I'm still on this one from Chad.
Yes, sir.
Favorite super villains? Oh man. That's I know this is an easy answer, but I'm gonna go with Thanos. Not the comic book Thanos. I'm gonna go with the movie Thanos.
Oh, he's going
because-
MCU.
You
Yeah.
freaking Marvel guys. All right, my turn. All right, Picard or Kirk?
Picard.
There you go. All right.
Okay, Cody, if you're transported to a alternate reality and you find yourself either able to go to the Firefly universe, the Star Trek universe, Babylon 5, or Star Wars, where do you go?
Live long and prosper. Trek.
I dig that. I dig that answer. That's a
It's
good
heavy boy
answer.
now.
All right. One of my favorite questions to ask. You were trapped in a vehicle, 4-hour road trip. No radio, no cell phone. There is either a superhero or supervillain riding with you, and you must sit there with them for the full 4 hours. Who is it?
I'm gonna go with my favorite guy, Cable, Nathan Summers.
That would be cool.
That's going to be
he's
a
from the
quiet
future.
car ride.
That's probably why he picked him. It'd be nice and quiet.
I feel like he has some good stories of the future. You know.
All right. Oh, I dig it. Okay. All right. Wes, bring us home.
Okay, Cody. Last and final is probably the most difficult question that the nerdy old men always ask. Does pineapple go on a pizza?
Yes, as long as it has ham.
Of course. We have another winner. Ding, ding, ding. Cody,
Cody.
go ahead and review your contact information, your website, your business stuff, so people can reach out to you.
All right, my Instagram name is cosplay_Cody, and that's on Instagram. My Etsy page is C3 Studios is my my Facebook page. My Etsy page is, let's see. Sorry, we can cut this out.
A65.
No, go ahead, buddy.
Cosplay Studios.
There you go, Wes, bringing it
That's why
home.
you write this stuff down, boys.
Yes. A65 Cosplay Studio is my Etsy page.
All right. Outstanding. And we got your website for your cosplay supply. And we'll put all of this into the show notes. So, guys, whatever you listen to us on, whether it's Apple Podcast or Podcaster or iHeartRadio, or use the BuzzFeed homepage, which would be the best place to start.
Because we got buttons up there that you can push
Yes.
and get all of our
Yeah, right.
information.
And so at the bottom of each of these things for the episode, and we'll have this episode and last week's up on YouTube here pretty soon. And you can scroll down and click those links and go and check out all of Cody's stuff. So please do that. He's a good guy with a growing business, and we'd like to promote that. So, be sure to check out all of our things. Go to our BuzzFeed website and go in the upper right-hand corner, and that'll link you to our Facebook page, our Instagram page, our Twitter page, YouTube, if I hadn't already said that, and then there's a donation button there if you want to buy us a cup of coffee or
Which
help,
works.
or help us. Yes,
works.
yeah, it works. We tried it out. And speaking of which, we'd like to give a little shout out to one of our big fans and a guy that we consider one of our team members, Mr. Perfect Pat Peebley, who made a nice donation to us the other day. Unnecessary, but we certainly appreciate that. We will put that towards the hosting fee for our audio on Buzzsprout. So we do appreciate that.
And I want to give a shout out to Fanboy Expo.
Absolutely.
Kind of bringing all of this together. I mean, it was a local convention that just keeps growing. I've made a lot of friends there, and like Cody, and really gotten into building props, which I like Cody. I really enjoy that. So next year, when all this COVID crap is over with and conventions start back up, everybody come down to Knoxville, check out Fanboy and our unique brand of nerdness, coolness, awesomeness. We really think you'll enjoy it.
Or if you live in Columbus or Orlando, the Fanboy will be coming to those two next year also.
That's
Fanboy's
right.
growing and expanding, folks.
That's right. And we may very well have the podcast at a table at the Knoxville show, hopefully. So
that'd be great.
Come by and see us.
We'll expand on that when the time comes. So we're hoping to do that too. So, but Cody, we really appreciate you taking the time this morning to come on here with us, and we're excited to check out your page, and we wish you all kinds of luck with the business as well as the hobby itself.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys for having me.
Yeah. Well, until next time, as I said, that when it comes to cosplay, I do love the smell of contact cement in the morning.
Yeehaw.